Good afternoon, everybody. Patrick, thank you for inviting me here at the seminar. Well, my name is Piero Witmer. I'm working for OpenFeeds for the last 3 years. And I will give a presentation like Christian, something like that. I immediately start with the organization, how are we positioned? Well, OpenFeeds is part of NS, the Dutch Railways. And since this summer we have formed a new company. And the goal of the company is to improve the door-to-door mobility for NS. So we put together 3 of the companies we already had. That's OVFeeds, the bicycle rental. I'm the manager of OVFeeds. Then we have NS Feeds, that's the bicycle parking. And then we have the car parking. I will tell you a little bit about only the bicycle systems. Okay, I can see it here. Cycling to the station and from the station. To reach the railway station, 40% of the Dutch people come by bike. And only 10% of the people leave the station by bike. To make that possible, the NS has over 100 guarded bicycle shelters under the stations or connected to the station. They are guarded by persons, and in the Netherlands we have 100 of those stations. At the rest of the stations we have lockers where people can rent a locker to put their bikes in. It's very important in Holland that you protect your bike well, because otherwise they will get stolen. So that's why we do that. Outside of the stations we have also racks. You can see that 150,000 racks are positioned around the stations. That are free racks, and it's your own responsibility if the bike is still there at the end of the day. Well, we have some pictures of these bunkers, you can call them. They're not all really nice. We're starting, the picture below, we're starting to make them nicer. Well, I told you there are about 100 of these kind of shelters, between 500 and 5,000 racks per shelter. And now we are projecting one, and if I'm saying we, is the NS, with the municipality of Utrecht. We are projecting one of 22,000 racks under the new station of Utrecht. So that's a really big shelter. There are a lot of challenges with such a shelter, because most of it, well, partly, that's not a discussion, do people have to pay to put the bicycle in the shelter, or do people not have to pay? All the 100 shelters you see above are paid shelters. You have to pay $1.20 a day to park your cycle inside. Outside it's for free, inside you pay $1.20. Or you can get a subscription for €100 a year. And the thing is, the shelters are very close to the tracks. So if you park your bike there, it's dry, it's easy, it's fast. Lots of people do want to park their bike there, because outside it's a struggle to find the space. Well, this is what a locker looks like. Very, very basic. You rent a key for a year, and we're starting to upgrade it, but it's very costly to do it by chip card. The egress mode. So you arrive at the station and you want to go to work, the last part of the trip. More than 50% of the people do that by walking. Then you have the bus, tram, the subway. Cycling only 10%, I said that. Then a small part for the car and the taxi. The 10% that leave the station by bike have their own bike. And the other part don't have a bike, so they go walking. Well, here comes in OVFeeds, the product I'm working for. We found a solution for renting easy and fast bike. Not a fast bike, but it's fast to rent. So, and many Dutch people drive very fast. So, how does the system work? Well, you get a subscription via the internet. There you put in your address, your email address, very important, and your bank account. then we know who you are, and we can send you a bill at the end of the month. If you rent, the rentals are a day, and you pay 10 euros a year to make it possible that you can rent a bike at the station. We mainly are positioned at railway stations. We have about 230 locations, and about 200 are at stations, railway stations. And at the end of the month, you will get an email with the cost of that month, and then 2 weeks later, if you don't complain, you will get charged directly on your bank account by direct debit. It's called. How does it work? Well, we have two kinds of systems, basically. One is manual. You go to the shelter, to the bike shelter. There's the guard has a scanner, and he can scan your pass, and then he scans the key of your bike, and then you can collect your key number. With the key number is 5001, and you can collect bike number 501. If there are only 50 bikes at the station, it's doable. If there are 500, you won't find your bike, because you will need much time to find it, and it's not very customer friendly. So we have different kinds of parking the bike. Well, when you return at the station, we always do two-way trips, never one-way. That's a big difference between all the city plans. The customer brings back the bicycle. So we don't have logistics. We have one van in the whole of the Netherlands to redistribute bikes. So that's very costly friendly for us. Well, you need a card to rent a bike. I don't know the term of the chip card, but we have a chip card in Holland that you can use in the train and in the buses. And the trip, you can load the chip card with money, and then it's if you make a trip, it gets a little bit less. But we use the same cards, so if you have a personal chip card, you can put the subscription for Overfiets on that card. So you go to the website, you type in the number I have here. Well, this number, it's a little bit complicated, but you put that in on the website, and then we know, because we have access to the central database, we know the chip number of your card, and we put it in a scanner. So the next day you can use the pass to rent the bike. It doesn't matter if you have a personal chip card from which city, it doesn't matter which city, it doesn't matter if it's from Arriva or from whatever. All the chip cards we can use. So we have that since 2 months, and well, the subscriptions are going off very fast because it's very easy for customers to do that. Then we have another kind of pass. We call them the mobility passes. Your employer has such a card. You get them from your job, and you can cycle, well, for free. Your boss is paying the cycling, the rental. And we have like 150,000 cars in the Netherlands that are loaded with our subscription. We have like 80,000 of the first one, and then we have 20,000 of our own cards. That's our history. We started with only our own cards, but we are phasing them out because we don't want the logistic of sending you a card. It's not easy. It takes a week from subscription until you have the card, so that's not a thing we want to continue with. Okay, the product. Well, we have a simple bike. We have like 6,000 bikes in the Netherlands, over 230 locations, and the cost of the rental is €3 a day. That's it. The second day is €3 for 24 hours. The first half hour is €3. We don't make a difference. So the people, so our customers know exactly what they're going to pay, and they're willing to pay €3. That's a nice thing. This year we introduced the electric bike, like the DB. We are doing a pilot for 6 months. because we want to make, we're not buying these bikes, but the business case has to be profitable. So to make the business case profitable, we have to ask the customer $7.50 a day. We can't do it cheaper. And now we're testing if the people get this bike with a range of 40 kilometers. It costs $7.50 a day, so you can go a little bit farther from the station. Are people willing to pay this? If at the end of the 6 months we discover, well, the people don't want to pay €7.50, we stop the concept. Easy like that. We tried something new in this with the e-bike. We didn't buy the bikes, we leased them. We have a contract with the supplier. Every rental, the supplier gets a fee of the $7.50. If the supplier doesn't supply us with a good bike that the customer wants, the customer won't rent it and the supplier won't get any money. So the supplier has to maintain the bikes good and with a good quality, then it will be rented more, and we both have a good business case. Then we have the e-scooter. We don't have a lot of e-scooters, we only have 32, but it's a good promotion, I can tell you, because we were in all the newspapers when we introduced it, and it was a very good thing for Overfiets to introduce this kind of product. It costs €15 a day. Not very many people want to do it, but they're there. So we at our biggest stations, the best station, we have a bike, an e-bike, and a scooter. E-scooter, no fuel in it, it's electric. We have other services on this platform with the card and with scanning. We do Overfiets at home. It's the same bike, but we're starting to have problems with the capacity of the stations. These stations are full, and we don't have that many square meters to put bikes. So we introduced like a year ago Overfiets at home. For €15 a month, you can take the bicycle back to your home from your station where in your city. You come back from work, arrive at the station, you can get the bike for €15 a month every day. Then the bicycle stays at your home during the night, so it doesn't take any space at the station. You go back the next morning to your work. You go earlier than the people that come to the station. So that's the concept. And if you take into account that to park your bike in the same shelter, it costs €100 a year, and only costs well, €15 a month to have a bike in the same shelter near the tracks for €15 a month, it's a good option. So we just introduced this, and the customers are growing. Then we have another service. Because we are in the same company, parking and renting, you can park your personal bike in the shelter and you can pay with our system. You get a sticker around your frame, and we scan your pass and the sticker, and when you go out we scan the sticker and we know, well, you stayed 1 or 2 or 3 days, and at the end of the month you get the bill. Well, I saw earlier this afternoon a photo when the Netherlands were empty, so I thought I put in this one. Well, there are many stations also. You can almost see the figure of Holland. Well, that's our goal, to have that we have Overfiets everywhere. That's at every station. Okay. What do I? Well, I thought I think I explained enough about the guarded shelters. We also have, because we only have 100 guarded shelters and we have 230 locations, so what are the other locations? Well, that's the complicated thing about our system, because the hand scanner is simple, but now we get the complicated stuff. We have automated shelters in Holland, where you can park your bike, but there's no person to guard it. There are cameras, and you have like a fence, and it looks like a prison. That's a good term, yeah. You can see it like here. And our bicycles are inside, but we have a system based on keys. So you have to get the key of the bike. Well, and we have a key dispenser. You can locate it like here. You can get out the rear key, and it's located at the entrance of the automated shelter. We have the box. It's a house where you can put in 32 bikes. It's working with the same principle. We have the lockers that you saw earlier. We have automated them, and with a chip card you can open the door and the overfits is inside. But these ones are pretty expensive. We never buy them. Overfits never buys them. We are kind of a reseller. A municipality says, well, we would like to have overfits at our station, and they are paying for the system one time, only to introduce it, and then we do the service and we will take care of it for at least 10 years. And we can do that with the rentals that we do. So there's no extra money involved. They pay once only to put in the machine. Because this one is like 20,000 euros, but this one is like 100. So we can do that from the 3 euros we earn by renting the bike. Well, this is a very special one. It needs a special bike to operate. We have only 4 of these. It can also be positioned underground. So it's like a machine, and you can put the bicycles underground, and then they go up with a lift and get out. It's called a bike dispenser. It's very nifty, and it should be a good principle for the cities, but not many cities want to make a hole that big in the ground in the center of the city. Well, that's a problem. Well, I already told you it's not very cheap, and reliability is really a thing you have to consider. If you have 50 bikes inside and you have 40 customers and it doesn't work in the morning, you have 40 disappointed people, and that's a problem, and I don't like that. People work every time. A scanner works every time. At the big stations we have 2 scanners, so if one doesn't work, the other one works. The bicycles work. There are simple bicycles, so they work every time. Reliability is really important if you have 700 bicycles at one station, and we have that in Utrecht. So if you with a locker with 4 bicycles, if it's in the morning it doesn't work, it's no problem. But with 50 bikes and it doesn't work, we get a lot of emails, a lot of help desk, and for a small company that's a big issue. This one, the carousel, there are turning inside. This is an alternative for this one. This is with glass, and glass is pretty fragile. So we thought of a new concept. Well, this is it, and it's being opened today. So I could not open it because I'm here. But the municipality, and there's a small party, and because it's the first one. To get an idea, 24 bikes are inside, and it costs like 70,000 euros to buy one system. So the Bunnik said, it's a very small town, said we want to have overfits, and we proposed the picture I showed you, and then they choose which system they want. And here, the carousel uses the normal bike, so that's a very clever thing. It's like 10 kilometers from Utrecht, so if the bike is, if people travel to Utrecht, it's no problem, they can put it back there. All the systems are, except from this one, that we have only 4 of them, are interchangeable. The bikes are all the same. And the bikes are normal, there's nothing attached to it that is special, it's just a normal one. The street rental, we tried like the grid system. We tried to make a system that you can put on the street, like this. One problem, where do you leave the key? You can leave it in the bike, so we made a locker where you can put in the key. It didn't work, so we stopped with it. And we tried it, and it didn't work. And that's we have only it's not there anymore. We tried to make another one with a different system for the keys. I would like to have an electronic key lock, but there isn't a supplier yet that can provide us with a very good lock that works with 700 bikes in one shelter with all the problems that you have in a big shelter. So that isn't really, if it's reliable and someone can show me it's reliable, we will think about it. We need it, but it's not there yet. Okay, to maybe, I don't know if you want to know it, but I made a small division. Manual is with the scanner, and self-service, you saw the solution for that. We rent 900,000 bicycles a year manual and only 100 with the self-service. Well, the percentage is obvious. So in 100 locations we do most of the rentals. And I try to make, well, the costs approximately. It costs 1.7 million euro to rent 900,000 bicycles. It costs €1.90 a bike. We get €3. In this figure, I didn't incorporate the cost of the company, of the back office, of buying the bike. Only how do I explain that? The operation cost, and we have if it is done manually, we have a local operator. It's the guard from the shelter that rents our bikes, and every time he does a bleep, he gets a fee. And they are not our personnel, it's the guard of the bicycle shelter. So every bleep we have to pay him. That's why it's 190, but he maintains the bikes as well. So the maintenance and the fact that he can rent it is 190. And the self-service, well, you don't have to pay nobody, but we need 250,000 euros to go there with the car and to fix the bikes and to get the bikes, to fix the lockers. Sometimes they get broken. So they are more expensive. So think also in people. People can be very, at the end can be cheap if you have a large number of bikes. Well, this is the growth of the feeds. We started in 2001, so we have a big history. And we are growing every year. This is like 200,000 rentals a year. We don't want to grow too fast because we don't have the space at the stations. We have to create the space as well. So that's the thing to consider. And we have 1,000 paying registrations and 150,000 other cars that have their subscription. Customer appreciation. Well, because of overfeeds, 50% of our customers say they travel more by train because of the overfeed system, and 10% of the people say they don't use the car anymore for some trips. So that's a good benefit. Well, I will make a summary. Why are we successful? We target different target groups: leisure, business, commuters are all in target groups. Tourists from the Netherlands, yes. Tourists from abroad can't have a subscription because they cannot enter their bank account. We're working on that, but it's still not possible. We are really part of the door-to-door transportation, and people say that they use more the chain of public transportation with the overfeeds. Well, we have a subscription on this chip card, smart card, that works in all of the Netherlands. Well, that's a big advantage. We use typical Dutch standard bikes. Every Dutch citizen knows how the bike works. It's pretty cheap. There's nothing special about it. So that's really part of the concept. If a bike gets stolen, or if we lose bike, we don't lose a lot of money. We need little infrastructure, or little with in the manual part. We need little infrastructure. The shelters are already there. Bigger shelters are being made. We use those places to put the bicycles in. We grew 2,000 bicycles this year, and we didn't have to invest in infrastructure whatsoever. And then there's our best thing, I think. At the bottom line, at the end of the year, we are profitable. So we can do the whole system. We only sell the automated self-service location to the municipalities for the price that we buy them from the suppliers, so we don't earn there any money. We can operate the whole system with the €10 subscription and €3 for the rental. And then there's money left to invest in a new back office, in new concepts, to improve the system and to use the smart card of the Netherlands. It took 2 years to develop a system that uses the smart card that all of the citizens use. So that costs a lot of money, and we can do that from the operation. Well, this is a photo of one of our biggest locations. You can imagine the bikes are open here, so before you get out of the shelter, there is someone with a scanner, and he scans the bike and your pass, and you're out. And in this shelter we have 400 bicycles, and every morning they're gone. So that's a success and a problem. So, thank you. This was my presentation.
Okay.